Hello, my dear children. Welcome back. I know your exams are just around the corner, and you must be feeling the pressure. Don't you worry at all. Today, we're going to tackle a really touching story from your syllabus, The Address by Marga Minko. We'll go through it step by step, and I promise you'll be completely prepared.
Teto, let's jump right into The Address. Now, this story is much more than just, finding some lost stuff. It's really about the deep scars that war leaves behind, the heaviness of memories, and that really, really tough choice we sometimes have to make. Do we hold on to our past, or do we let it go? By the time we finish, you'll understand the whole thing perfectly, I promise.
Okay, so here's our plan for today. First, we'll get into the story, then we'll see what happens when a door slams shut. Intriguing, right? We'll look into some memories of the mother and visit a room full of ghosts. After that, we'll figure out the real meaning of it all. And to top it off, we will answer your exam questions. Ready? Let's go. All right, let's set the scene. Imagine Holland just after the war. Everything is a bit broken, a bit sad. And in the middle of all this, we have our main character, a young girl. She's a survivor, but she's lost her mother in the war. Now she's on a very personal mission. She's trying to find her mother's precious things from her past. So who is our main character? She's the narrator, the one telling us the story. We know her as Mrs. S's daughter. And her goal is simple. Her mother gave her an address to remember, a very important one, Marconi Street, number 46. Why? Because that's where all their family's precious belongings are supposed to be, kept safe by a woman named Mrs. Dorling. Okay, so the narrator finally makes it to that address. She's probably feeling a little hopeful, right? Thinking she'll get a piece of her past back. She rings the bell, the door opens, but what happens next is, well, it's not at all what she was expecting. And these are her first words. "Do you still know me?" Just imagine saying that. Her voice is probably full of hope, but also a lot of fear. Will this person remember me? Will she welcome me in? And the welcome she gets, it's so cold. Look at this picture. Mrs. Dorling just opens the door a tiny crack. It's like a big keep out sign, It's not just a door she's closing herself off. There's no friendly hello, just this suspicious look. And then Mrs. Dorling says this, "I thought that no one had come back." Wow, this one line tells us so much. On one hand, it shows how terrible the war was. So many people didn't come back. But it also sounds a bit like an excuse, doesn't it? Like she's surprised and maybe not too happy to see the narrator. Maybe she didn't want anyone to come back for those things. But then the narrator sees it. The proof. Mrs. Dorling is actually wearing her mother's green knitted cardigan. That's it. She knows for sure she's in the right place. But what does Mrs. Dorling do? She pretends she doesn't know anything and just slams the door. Can you believe it? She leaves our poor narrator standing right there on the street. So you must be wondering, how did all her mother's nice things end up in this house with this not-so-nice woman? To understand that, we have to go back in time with the narrator, into her memories of her mother. This timeline makes it super clear. Look, before the war, life was happy. Their home was filled with lovely things. Then, during the war, this Mrs. Dorling started showing up. She would take suitcases full of their belongings, telling them she was saving them. And now, after the war, our narrator is all alone, and she's just trying to get her family's things back. And this is what her mother used to say. She really trusted Mrs. Dorling. She was scared of losing everything in the war, and she thought this woman was a kind friend, helping to save all their nice things. Aww. It's so sad, isn't it? Because now the narrator can see the truth, and it's not so kind at all. But our narrator is strong. She doesn't give up. She decides to go back to Marconi Street one more time. She just has to see those things again. And this time, guess what? Mrs. Dorling isn't home. Instead, her daughter, who's about 15, lets her in. And when she goes inside, oh, it's heartbreaking. She sees all her mother's things, the woolen tablecloth, the special plates, the silver cutlery, but they just don't feel the same. Back in her own home, they were filled with love and happy memories. Here, in this strange house, they look tasteless. The whole room has a muggy smell, and everything just feels wrong. So wrong. And this line says it all, doesn't it? I was in a room I knew and did not know. She recognizes every single object, but the feeling is completely alien. It's like seeing your best friend's face on a total stranger. Instead of comfort, all these things now just bring her pain, reminding her of everything and everyone she has lost. And right then, something clicks for her. This is the big turning point of the story, Butcho. She realizes that the specialness of those things wasn't because they were silver or antique. No, their value came from the life they were part of, the family, the love. Without her mother, without that home, they're just things. They've lost all their magic. So now that we know the story, let's dig a little deeper. Let's talk about the real meaning, the big ideas. This is super important for your exam answers, so pay close attention. Okay, here are the key themes you absolutely need to remember. First, the story shows us the problems people face even after a war is over. Second, it's about how memories of the past can be really painful. Third, and this is a big one, it shows that things lose their value when they are not in their proper place with the people who love them. And finally, the most important theme, sometimes you just have to let go and move on. This brings us to the title itself, The Address. You see, it's not just about number 46 Marconi Street. That address is a symbol. It's a symbol of her painful past. So when she decides to forget the address, what is she really doing? She's choosing to forget the pain. She's choosing to move forward and look towards the future. All right, time for the most important part, your exam questions. Cello, let's practice so you can get full marks. I'll show you exactly how to write the perfect answer. Now, this is a very, very important question, bachon. You will likely see this in your exam. Why did the narrator of the story want to forget the address? Let's think about everything we just discussed. Her visits, her memories, that big realization she had in Mrs. Dorling's house. Let's put it all together. Here is your perfect answer, point by point. You can write this down. First, the objects had lost their true value. In that strange, loveless house, they were just things. Second, the memories connected to them were too painful now. They didn't bring her joy, only sadness. Third, she had no space for all these old things in her new small life. And the final and most important point, forgetting the address was her decision, her resolution, to finally move on from the past. Simple, right? And the story ends with this incredibly powerful line, I resolved to forget the address. Of all the things I had to forget, that would be the easiest. Think about that. She had to forget her mother, her home, so much loss. Forgetting a street name and a number, that was the easiest part. It shows how strong she is and how determined she is to live her life looking forward, not back. So remember, my dear students, our past is important, yes, but our future is what we choose to make. This story teaches us that sometimes being brave means letting go. All the very best for your exams. I know you will do wonderfully. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more. Bye for now.